Hello everyone and welcome to the Grow to Guide podcast. I am your host Vashni Pillai, and today on the podcast we are talking about the ego. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but your body is evolutionarily wired to protect yourself in order to survive. And one of the things that helps us to survive is our ego. Its purpose is to assess a situation and from that situation to respond accordingly. So let me give you an example. You're in the desert and you're dehydrated. It is your ego that will tell you, hey, I think I see a body of water. Just keep pushing through. I know you can do it. Let's do it, okay? You got this. Or, you know what? That lion is running towards me. I should run away from it. I think that's the best idea because I don't want to get eaten. So back in the day when humans had to survive every single day, whether it was predators trying to eat them, whether it was lack of food or water, or even just the environment, the climate, all these harsh conditions could result in them possibly dying. So the responses that our ego usually goes for is, oh, there's a threat, I should fight it. Or, this threat is something I cannot fight, so I'm gonna run away from it. Or, I'm gonna sit here and wait until the threat leaves. It won't notice me, so I'm gonna be really quiet, So that's your fight, flight, and freeze responses. That was great in the past when we needed to survive all the time, but what happens now is that we've got cars, we have houses, we have supermarkets everywhere, so we don't need to survive harsh conditions like we used to, and we don't need to worry about these threats as well as our basic needs. Our basic needs are being met. So what happens when we experience our environment? For example, if you climb a tree, you'll fall a couple of times, but if you keep pushing yourself, eventually you'll be able to climb to the top of the tree. And that's when your confidence comes in, because the more you do something, the more you become an expert in it. That's how we learn. That's how all living things learn. They learn through experiences, experiencing and learning about ourselves. Straight out of the womb, we're told who we are, what we're capable of doing, and that character that's created through other people, we're adopting it. We're taking that and we're accepting this character, this image, this identity that was formed through other people, not through ourselves. And what happens? Somebody else will come along and challenge that, and we respond to it as if it's a threat. We're told you're either pretty or you're ugly. You're rated on your intelligence. You're either smart or you're dumb. You're rated on your physical strength. Are you strong? Are you weak? Your ability, your skills. You're either this or you're not that. As a child, when you're told these things and you're accepting it and you grow up and you're still being told that you're this character, you don't question it and you're too afraid to challenge yourself. So if you have been called stupid your whole life, or you're not smart, you're not intelligent, and you're talking to someone and someone says, oh, hey, you're really smart. Wow, I didn't know this. If you freeze in that moment, that is a response from your ego saying that, oh, this is a threat. I've always heard that I'm stupid, and now this person is telling me that I'm smart. Wait, I don't know how to respond to this. You don't know how to respond to it because that's somebody challenging and questioning this character that you have accepted. And if somebody is shouting and arguing, that is their fight response. If someone is running away from confrontation, that is that's their flight response. And if you get someone who just freezes and you feel like you can't talk to them, they could either freeze up where they physically can't speak and they choke up, or they just freeze and just don't say anything. They just cannot accept this information and they're just waiting for the threat to go away. It's either I fight the threat, I run away from the threat, or I just freeze until the threat goes away. If you tell a child, don't touch that stove, it's gonna hurt you, you're gonna burn yourself. They're gonna touch that stove not to defy you, not to question you, but rather that their body needs to experience their environment. They need to learn through their experiences. And then what happens? That kid touches a stove, it cries, and it knows, whoop, I'm not gonna do that again because I don't want to get hurt. That is a threat to my body. I'm gonna stay away from that. Kids learn through their senses, and we still do that. We forget that we do that. And an example with adults is we spend years going to schools and getting a degree and getting educated, but we don't really know anything until you start working. I'm learning more through experiencing and doing the job. That is why before you accept an opinion, whether it's an opinion you thought your whole entire life, try push yourself. The way you learn about yourself is through new experiences. You could think you are a terrible cook. Oh, I can't cook, I'm bad at cooking. But then you start cooking and you realize, whoa, I'm actually pretty good at this. I make some really good meals, Until you try that thing, you won't really know if you're good at it. For example, I was terrified. I listened to these amazing podcasters and their sound is amazing. They have all these equipment. I don't have that, So I was afraid, I'm a little bit terrified to start a podcast, and I was measuring myself up to their standard. And then I realized I'm never going to learn about podcasting until I actually try it out. Challenge yourself, because the more you practice, the more you do something, you will get better at it. And you need to give yourself the opportunity to get to that level. Everyone has to be a beginner. You have to start somewhere, So try keep that in mind before you doubt something or discard something because you are afraid that you're not capable of executing that task. So when was the last time you did something for the first time? Try it out. Try do something for the first time. You'll never know until you try.